Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as I get to ride on with you in the afternoon. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. If you have ideas for shows you would like me to do a little research, I'll be tickled to do that for you. Send an email to donna@donnasedge.com. So we're going to be talking about something really awesome today, and I'll give you a hint. So here it comes. Here's your hint.
Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and the moon up above and a thing called love. Let me tell you about the stars in the sky and a girl and a guy and the way they could keep on a night like this. When I look into your big brown eyes, it's so very plain to see that it's time you learn about the facts of life, starting from A to Z. Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and the moon up above and a thing called love. Yeah! When I look into your big brown eyes, it's so very plain to see that it's time you learn about the facts of life, starting from A to Z. Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and the moon up above and a thing called love.
Now, if that doesn't put you in a good mood, you're impossible. You can't be put in a good mood. So that's just an awesome song. So we're going to be talking about bees today. So, Phil and I are beekeepers, and we love our bees. And so this is about the third year we've been working on this. So we just added 2 hives, and we're really excited about expanding into 10 hives in a year. We got a goal set for doing that. Then we're going to get, eventually, within a 3-year plan, we want to have 50 hives. But here's Phil, and he's talking with you about bees and how we are actually putting those together. So let's go ahead and find him right here. We'll be back shortly.
Good morning. What we're going to talk about a little bit today, right now we're going to talk about our bees. We got a couple of hives here that we have just set in place for the last 2 or 3 weeks. What we're going to do there is the base plate. The base is the deep. This one here is the one where the bees are right now. So we just installed last couple of days. We installed the smaller one for them to come up in. They're going to basically live and breed everything in here. The bee grow from here, and then they'll come up to the top, and then they will get their honey, make their honey from there.
Well, the neat thing about, too, the top one is it's not going to be really heavy. That's going to be our honey, right?
Yes.
So that's where we're going to take the honey, but we're going to leave the food in there. So why on the bottom one, the bigger box down there? So as far as that one, why are we leaving that one on the bottom?
Okay, that one on the bottom is where the bees come in. They bring the pollen in from the pollen that they collect while they're out and about during the day. And this is basically food for the bees that are still in there working. They're working all the time. There's a big swarm of them that keeps it cool, keeps the queen cool. You got to make the queen happy. So it keeps the
If mama ain't happy, nobody's happy.
And that's the reason the life of a bee is not very long, because they're always flapping their wings and stuff like that. So they're in a bundle. In the wintertime, they bundle up to stay warm. They generate heat. So we come up with some different ideas this year about how to feed. Now, they consume the pollen and everything to make their honey and all that kind of stuff, but they're constantly, the queen is generating more babies, having the babies being born, and most of the other bees are nurse bees, if I remember.
And
correctly.
we're seeing babies now.
We see them flying around now, yes. So that is the bottom area is where they live, where they work, and then as they get ready for honey, they come up to the second hive above that to start laying, not laying it. They were bringing the pollen and all that stuff in there to make the comb, make the hives, make the honey, and that's what we're for. We're not going to take any honey from the bottom.
No, that's their food
what they
for
will
winter.
live off. What we leave them down there, and maybe even some from the top. When the period is over for the summer, the fall comes, then they get ready for winter. They've got something to live off of. Now okay, you see these right here. These right here is we have what we call the water.
Sugar water.
It's basically sugar and water.
Now in the summertime we do, what's the combination on the sugar and
in
the
the
water?
summertime, we just basically give them a supplement. It's 1 part sugar
Water
and
sugar.
1 part water. Now, closer to the winter time, if they need a little extra, you put 2 sugar and 1 water, and that will subside the rest of the season. They also have stored some in the bottom box.
And there
We call
are
this
10
the deep.
frames in
This is
there.
the deep. This is super deep.
And then the super is the smaller one. And the reason why we do that, I mean, you and I are getting a little bit older here. So one reason we're doing that is this is going to be plenty of honey for us, those 2, and we'll be expanding even more. But so the 2, the smaller ones, they're going to be heavy enough
That's
for
true.
us to lift, and then we're actually robbing the bees and we're taking the honey, but they're easier for us to lift, and there's plenty of
true.
honey for us.
We might even bring one of the supers up a level. If we need more, we can. If we decide, okay, we're going to sell some of it, then we can bring a bigger option by bringing, instead of the small 8-inch, we'll bring up the 10-inch super. Right now, that's not going to be. But what we're working on also is a way to feed them. Okay, let's look at this one right here, since I'm already in the front. Now right here on the bottom where the bees are going in, there is an option to feed them water and sugar there. But it leaves open for other insect to get up there,
Predators,
or other bees come in from another hive and start robbing. So we're going to eliminate that, and then I'm going to come in here above this with probably one of the big boxes like that, and I'm going to put 4 jars of the mixture of 2 to 1, 1 to 1, whatever it is at the time. We start off 1 to 1, 1 water, 1 sugar. But then they don't have to come out. Okay, down here in the wintertime, now wintertime they don't do anything. They are in the hive, staying warm.
And they're eating their honey.
They're eating their honey to generate more sugar, to more energy, I guess you could say. But we don't want them to come out, because if they come out here in the wintertime, that's a no-no.
They'll freeze to
They're
death.
dead. They're froze to death. They don't do wintertime very well outside. Actually, they don't do it at all.
They
If they
can't
fly
live.
out and the temperature is below 40, they're dead meat. So this is going to keep them from doing that. What they will do is just come up into the next section, out of the water, they go back down.
This way they're not going
they'll have a place-
outside.
They come through where they're going to make honey and get the water, and then they go back down. So they've got enough heat generated during the wintertime that's not going to bother them. You just don't want them to have to come outside the hive like the entrance does.
Then another reason we're doing this, of course, we take care of the bees, they're going to take care of us. So we don't want to rob that bottom. Okay, we want them to have plenty of honey throughout the winter, because we get some hard, how it is in Alabama, 4 seasons in one day. And so we want them to have plenty, because what we're going to do is within the next year, we're going to turn these 2 hives into 10 hives.
Right.
So they'll be good and they'll be healthy. They'll be ready to split. We'll have some more, plenty of worker bees, but we'll also have some queen bees. And so we've got to have a queen. Now women don't get along with each other in the real world, and women bees don't get along with each other. The queens don't. So that's another thing we're doing. We're looking to split.
They fight about that.
They fight. You know how women are. And I'm a woman.
If
what am I saying?
The queen's doing their job, the bees will follow.
Mm-hmm.
If not, they will drift away, or maybe the queen will leave and take part of them with her, and that's okay. You just have to keep watch for that, so you can get a queen back in there promptly that is producing.
So when Mama's happy, Mama Queen Bee is happy in both of these hives, everybody else is going to be happy.
Right.
And again, we're making a business out of it. I mean, of course, we love the honey anyway. And if you could see the trees, and I'll walk you through and let you see our blueberries and blackberries, and all the garden is just doing absolutely wonderful because of these bees. And they go in, they pollinate, and it helps them. They're bringing that beautiful pollen back in. And so everybody's happy. Now, what I want to do is I'll walk everybody around just a little bit, but I want to get back to the garage because you're working
I'll
on...
show you what I'm working on there. And I can even, I'm going to make a pattern and have a hive,
mm-hmm.
so I can do that without having to go and buy a hive.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be as well as the rest of them, but as long as it works, it doesn't matter.
They don't
have
care.
to be pretty.
Well, actually, I'm going to put some artwork.
You're going to make the artwork and make it pretty.
Yeah, I'm going to paint them.
They don't give a rip about what the outside.
Yeah, but I think
what
it's
they
pretty.
do is they recognize the outside,
mm-hmm.
and that's how they zero back in when they get ready to come back. Now, we have a pond behind the house, so water is not a problem.
No, it's way out there.
But we want.
And they'll travel how many miles for water?
They'll travel up to 3 miles for water,
mm-hmm.
and this is
they
less
have
than
plenty.
a quarter of a mile. So.
Okay, we'll be going into a break in just a few minutes, so I'll end it out. I know you're going to go to the garage and get ready for that project, and that'll be in the second half of this episode. But I'm going to let everybody see it's worth it having bees, guys. And the population of bees is just going down. And they're beautiful creatures, and see, you're out here without even a suit on. So this because you're comfortable with them. So this is for the people who are afraid of bees. If you're afraid of them, they're afraid of you, and they're going to start singing.
Just remember one thing, and that's pretty much set in stone. They don't like black.
No, they don't wear black
stuff. Mm-hmm. Most of the suits that we see are white,
mm-hmm.
or maybe even
mm-hmm. Absolutely.
clear. But as long as it's coverage, and that's fine.
Okay, now I'm going to go to the blueberries and the blackberries. I'm going to show around the garden while you're getting ready for the next segment.
I'll see you on the next round.
Absolutely. All right, so guys, take a look at these blueberries. Aren't they beautiful? You got to have bees if you have a garden. There's a little upfront cost there, but I'm going to tell you what, you take good care of the bees, and you'll make it back in a year or less. Absolutely, if you decide you want to sell them. Okay, blueberries looking absolutely awesome. Blackberries are coming up. We're going to have them pretty soon. Now we have 2 different locations for the blueberries. I'm going to take you kind of on a tailspin. And this is our garden. And you can see how beautiful it's coming to be. And here are some sunflowers. I've got those set out. Have some marshmallow. We're going to be having some segments about marshmallow. I'm not talking about marshmallows, you know what I mean. There's a little rogue cucumber that came up. Not sure what happened there, but anyway, we have some cantaloupes coming up. There's pumpkin coming up, and all these seeds were just planted last week. Well, with the exception of the sunflowers. Those were 2 weeks ago. And then, of course, we got the blackberries, and then we have strawberries, every kind of berry you can think of. Now, all of these right here, this is my lavender, and I love it. And you can see it's already coming to flower. So what I'll be doing, we'll have a segment on this. And this segment is where I'm going to be showing you how to make essential oil. See, we're going to let this bloom. See, it's already coming out. Look at that beautiful lavender. And it smells so good. Now, there was a time I thought I could not grow lavender. Anybody can, if I can. Okay, strawberries, we just transplanted them and put them out here this season when Phil built the concrete block. So we've got some in blocks. And then we also have it here as well. And I just couldn't do anything with, these are just some, I don't know what happened, the wind blew the sunflower seeds. So I've got some of those that are right there. Sunflowers, your bees love them. Here we go, tomato plants. And by the way, when something rogue comes up, I leave it because I figure there's a reason for it. So there you go. There's a rogue cucumber coming up. The onions are looking good. Now those are the real good sweet purple ones. The potatoes, those are going to be the Yukon Golds. And I can't wait for them to produce and do their thing. There's one of my little bees. Just went rogue. Oh, and by the way, companion planting. You need to know how to do this. So I have lettuces growing all in here alongside because I've never been able to produce lettuce like I'm doing this year. Because I was putting it right out in the open sun. But if your companion plant, see, you have your tomatoes are going to get pretty big and they're going to be overshadowing, so there won't be so much harsh sun coming out. So that's how you do that. And then let me show you really quick. So there are green beans right there. They're going to climb up this fence right here. Oh, and by the way, companion planting and then also container plants. Those are doing well too. These are bush beans that are coming up, so they won't take up as much space. And then I went on ahead and planted some peanuts, and they're beginning to come up too. So I can't wait to show you what we're going to do with peanuts. Again, look, I've been taking lettuce leaves, and they're just still coming up. If you're going ahead and gather from the bottom, if you'll take the bottom ones out, what's going to happen is it's going to grow up, and then you'll have less disease as well. Okay, let me go on ahead and by the way, I love this right here. No weeds. Great cover. I like to grow tomatoes in succession, and what I mean by that is they're going to be coming up and producing. Then I'll have these I can plant a little bit later on. There's some basil growing in the middle of it. And then here, see how I've done it like in thirds. So I'll have a big crop of those things coming up. And here's some celebrities. They're going to be ready to transplant pretty soon. I like to put them in just a box, container box. Make sure you got plenty of holes in the bottom. And again, look, you can grow in containers. Absolutely you can. There's some holy basil coming up right there. Okay, Phil's waiting on me. Let me go ahead and get into the garage, and I'll be back shortly. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors, and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
We are back over on the other side of the
Farm.
Hacienda here farm. And I'll show you what I've been doing. I did make a hive body. This is the same as a matter of fact, be the same as the white one here. I took a pattern off of that, and I made one to do what we're going to do with water. Now, we said before we were going to make it where they don't have to go out in the wintertime. They don't have to come out of the entrance at all, because the water's going to be right here. So I have gotten, I can get it all squared away here. I got it. When it fall on me and break a hole in it. So this is the basic way it will set up like this on top of the body here, and then the water will come up just like this.
So now these holes are going to be just the right size for quart jars.
This is, and I got a quart jar. I'll show you here. This is I went and got a 2 3/4 hole saw bit and drill the holes. You want one that'll go in here with the lid on it, because that's where you're going to do it. So let me get the box from the jar, and I will show you. She can give you show you some stuff. We got some of the frames here that we are utilizing.
See, and then what happens while he's getting the jar? What happens? So we're using these frames right here. These are the bigger ones. This is where they're going to store their food for the winter, and they'll be happy bees. We'll be expanding. We'll have 10 hives before you know it.
And
Okay.
we'll have the center of them. We'll have them covered with a method that they'll be able to put the brood on. They'll build it back. They can build a crack in here somewhere, and they'll find it. They'll find it, and they will build over.
They'll fill that in.
Now these I've got enough for 4 quart jars, and that would give us about a 1 gallon of the honey. I mean the mixture. Now what I do there is just pop it right in there like that, then it's not going anywhere.
And it's secure.
And when we get ready, and I don't have this one that has the, I don't have the holes drilled in the top yet. I'll have probably 6, 8, 10 holes, small holes. Now when I dump it up like that, water's going to come out. Then the vacuum gets in, then I'll put it over here. Then as the bees get up there, they'll suck from that. From this jar. So we'll have another one of these. This actually will be up here covering the jars. We'll have a top on it that just like I've got right here.
So let's just
This right here will be the
pretend.
top.
Let's pretend this is the super right here. This is the super of the smaller one that we have on top. So this will actually go on top of the super.
Yeah. Let me just switch it around, and I'll show you exactly how it will be. Okay, well, I guess we have to do it that way. Okay, here's one of our tops ready to go. See, it has all, well, this is it'll have this stuff in it where they can build their comb.
And those are plastic frames, by the
They
way,
are.
which are good frames.
So I've got this ready, and what I've done is I went ahead and put me a little board here that when it goes down, it gives us the bees a little more room, and to see where they can come right in like that, and I'll put four in here, and I will put the cover on it.
And that's what you built to go fits right with
Correct. And then after that, we put the top on,
it. And we're done.
and all we have to do is come every few days and check to see what level, see if we need to add more water, and see if the mixture has to be filled up or whatever. But that, with me putting that extra piece right there, that gives them a little more room between the hive and the top.
And they got to have their space.
They got to have the space because there's a lot of bees.
And I wanted to mention this. Some people will put nails in. It's better to use these screws right here, right? When you're putting your
I
boxes
like
together.
it that way better because I can pull that out. If a nail, so you may tear up the board when you try to repair it or whatever. So that is the way I like it. I do have a pin nailer, so I can nail it. When I was looking for a pattern for this thing with holes in it, the guy there on the bottom where he put the lattice work, he glued it and then nailed it. And I did that on that because I'm not going to be taking that off. But these right here, you can change easily if you have to, because they don't last out forever.
And so that's going to be really good. Again, they'll be going up. This is going to be where their food stays right here. Then we're going to have the smaller box, which is they're going to make honey for us.
Yeah,
and we don't have to worry about it. Then this goes on top of that one.
This will be about the size of the
about
smaller
that
box. I think it's an 8-inch. This is a 10-inch, if I'm not mistaken. The next is an 8, and I think they have one smaller than that. But it basically will go on top of the hive. That way, the bees have access to getting up to it. Now, on what we've got out there, I've got one of the smaller ones between this. That way they can crawl up into this and then crawl up into get some feed. So that way you want them to come from there, they got to expand. So they come up here and make their brood or their honey in the next one. And
So that way we're not bothering the brood or anything. That's on the bottom. And so all of the little baby bees and all of those are going to be down
that's
there.
where they'll hatch, and then they'll begin working.
And then again, your spring is multiplication.
Yes.
Then you'll be adding more hives.
You start right here, and then as it comes up, we don't take anything from here.
Right.
It's all given to us by the bees. In the next hive, we take what we want here. We may leave more for
We're probably
more
gonna leave
of
some.
that for them.
Yeah.
So the more they got to get through the winter, the easier it is.
Well, the first year or so, I'm not really I want some honey, but I'm not that concerned with getting all the honey from the hive.
correct.
Because I want them to be happy and I want them to expand, because I'm looking later on down the road because we're eventually going to have 50 hives. And that's a 2-year plan right there. And the guy that we get all of our stuff from, a wonderful guy, lives in Hazel Green, Alabama. And so he has been huge. If you want to buy bees, send a message. Send me an email, Donna at donnasedge.com, and I'll get you in contact with this guy because he is wonderful. He will take time with you. Now, you'll need to go to his place so you can see how he does things. But he'll have the hives and everything secure for you. So you don't have to worry about bees in your car attacking
That's
you,
right.
nothing like that. So you'll be able to bring them home. He will give you his many years of expertise. So you're going to know exactly what you're going to do with all these bees, right? Well, it's time to sign off
Okay.
now.
We will check everybody on the next round.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Thank you, honey. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful, awesome, blessed rest of the day. Take care.